Good morning and welcome to the program Perspectives. This morning on the program Perspectives, we'll be looking at the just concluded local government elections. Now, matters arising. There were, sultans that stood out. And of course, the umpire, the Katsikom, had said that it had made itself very ready to get the election for Saturday going. Well, we had elections. In some areas, of course, we knew that some local government areas, it did not take place. Other dates were fixed for that. But let's look at how it all turned out, to be, and the issues that came out of it. We'll do a general overview of that, and we'll come back to some issues that stood out. My guest this morning on the program is Imadu. Imadu is a public affairs analyst, and together we'll be looking at the elections and how it turned out to be. Losers and there were winners. Strongholds were penetrated. All of these will come out in our discussion. Good morning, glad to have you.
Good morning, Twain.
Yes.
It's a pleasure being on your show.
And
listener, good morning.
Let me just come to a general overview of the turnout of the elections. Let me get that from you before I start, pointing at
general turnout.
The overview of the elections that's turned out.
I think very clearly, we are making steady progress. 1999 to 2021, we've been able to witness even the opposition, see the opposition APC defeat the then dominant People's Democratic Party. So slow and steady. But for military rule, would have been like Tanzania or Kenya, two countries that never witnessed coup, and they've made incremental progress in their democratic endeavors. So if you ask me, we must not be always hasty to jump to conclusions. Yes, turnout low, and if you ask me, considering that the grassroots, the councillor, the local government chairman, if you look at America, you hear municipals, you hear counties, they are much more powerful than even state governments because they touch your life more than state or federal government touches your life. So if you ask me, at this level, the grassroots level, we should be doing better. But again, I take a more holistic view of issues to say slowly, surely, steadily, we are on the march. We will get there by the grace of God and hard work. We will get there. We will get it right. We will get people to take interest in their local affairs. We'll get people to know that, like the governor said, the APC, he admitted, he said, we had consensus arrangements here and there. And part of what has happened was that the people rejected some of those councillors who had been in office. They knew them. I mean, you know your councillor in Banawa Ward, for instance, and if he didn't perform and the party gave him a fresh mandate, ticket to seek a fresh mandate, you are at liberty to vote him out, which is what happened. So Nasir El-rufai now will be, his councillor will be a PDP, a member of the People's Democratic Party. And knowing the governor, I know he will seek his councillor out. And if they have things mutual for the benefit of the community, they will sit together. That's the way it should be, cohabitation. So that's my take. Yes, worrying, but nevertheless, if you look at even general elections, Lagos State has more than 5 million registered voters. Kaduna State with 3.5 million voters, they do better than Lagos State with 5 million. We get 2 point something million voters. So it's a general problem elites, apathy, and all that. But again, people are beginning to understand that democracy works. If you don't take an interest, you will pay for it.
Yes, so, exactly. Let me just stay with that a little bit on that before I move on. On this apathy that even the governor saw, and we all saw it. Punishment by the people on non-performing, councillors.
That's his words. That's his words.
Yes. And so for you now, yes, that the people have a choice, or their choices have been, upheld, and all of that. What are the signals too for as we go on with the elections 2023
for both parties?
Yes, for both parties.
For both parties, you must present popular candidates. You can no longer take the will of the people for granted, which is also what has happened in Southern Kaduna. If you read Dr. John Danfulani's statement about imposition of candidates by a particular senator who, is part of the game for 2023. If you have your men in local governments, councillors, they make up part of the delegates for the primaries and all that. So, like some people will say, rigging at source. Once you are able to, at that particular time, get your men as councillors, 11 councillors in 12 in certain places, and then you get the council chairman and vice chairman. So you have how many delegates? If you 8 local governments of Southern Kaduna, and you are able to control all, it means you have how many advantage over your opponents. I think so. It's a lesson. That's what has happened, and I think for both parties, the governor also alluded to that. For both parties moving forward, they will have to go back and ask themselves questions about their nomination process, about how the candidates that they are fielding and all that, because the people are waiting. If you are a House of Reps member and you take off and nobody sees you, you can come by the nomination, but the people would vote against you. We've seen that happen in Kaduna.
So for you, who won here? We had a process. So who won?
Democracy won. The good people of Kaduna State won. As we speak, I saw video clips of jubilation in Kachia. I saw in Jama. I saw Kaduna North. I saw Kaduna South. So the people won. Democracy won. El-rufai did not lose. He lost his unit. Unit is a minute in a whole, in a constituency. It's minute, but again, it tells about his democratic credentials, that he will not buy voters. He will not induce voters. So the people won, democracy won in Kaduna State. Again, larger picture, Kaduna State clearly is united. Clearly, again, the people of Kaduna, Southern Kaduna, who for the past 16-20 years have kept faith with the People's Democratic Party, and you cannot say they have received equal attention. They've received the kind of attention, rewards that they deserve for this support. Finally, they voted. I mean, it's about interest. It's about candidates you think would deliver the goods. So they also won, and it's very important. I keep referring to Dr. John Danfulani's.
Yes, I still want to stay with him.
Yes. Dr. John Danfulani's statement. We don't always agree, but at times we do agree. And in this instance, I agree with him that they've been taken for granted for so long. and their support taken for granted, and then brazen imposition of candidates that didn't also help. So for once, the PDP clearly won in Jaba, won in Jama, won in Sanga, won in Kauru. So the only place they did not win is Kaura. They won in Kauru. They did not win Kaura. And so I think the state is united, which is good for everyone. So if you ask me, democracy won. If you ask me, the people of Kaduna State won. If you ask me, Southern Kaduna won. They've sent out a message loud and clear. You can no longer take our support for granted. And I think I like that resolve, that it is none of these two parties. That's the other issue that has come out, which for years people kept saying this party can be identified as a Muslim party. That party can be identified as a Christian party. You know, it's a lie. So now again, the people have said, look, we know the truth. We know for a fact APC is not a Muslim party. There are Christians. PDP is not a Christian party. We have Muslims, and in fact, our governorship candidate was a Muslim, a person of Isa Ashiru. So I think shattering those perspectives, those narratives is also good for Kaduna State, that everybody would understand that the way forward is bridge building, and we'll have a great state, you know. So people hiding under religious banners to say, oh look, PDP is Christian party, that meets the people, and I think we always take them for granted. We always think that the common man has no sense, that he lacks awareness or is not informed, and they are very, very informed. You know, it took time, but finally, and I think it's a warning to politicians. Look, don't come here again. You will elect you. You'll fly on the banner of APCs, and then we elect you. We don't see you. You are not there for us, and you just go to Abuja and stay put. And now they have shattered those narratives. They've gone for realistic narratives that this state belongs to every one of us. We have to bridge buildings. We have to do what it takes to have a great state. And I think I am happy for Kaduna State, and everybody should be happy. And you know, there are some elections that have been postponed.
Yes, sure.
I see APC taking Zango Kataf.
That's a projection.
Yes, my projection. With what has happened, I know my friend is like, oh my God, we should have been part of this bandwagon immediately. It's more hard work now because the election has been postponed. We expect both parties to move in fully, but it's going to be a close contest, very, very close contest. Take my word.
Okay. Let me still stay. You know, Dr. John Fulani is, a strong man of the, of his party, and of course, you do not take him for granted. He used very strong terms, and that's when he said, "We were punished. We were punished for the invincibility that we thought we had, and of course, allowed people who are not the people's favorite, to be in position, as you said earlier." And I'm doing a projection too into 2023. Yeah, that the time, having the people have their say, and for the people having their say, then they must know that if you're not working, we're watching you, and there's time to give you or to punish you. So, how would this play out in 2023?
It's already very, very clear. 2023,
This time it's not going to be, elections conducted by the.
Let me tell you. You see, 2019, we are all aware. Of course, Ashiru picked up the ticket and picked Sonny, which I thought was a bad political move. If you remember, Mohammed Hassan, Shagari's Minister of Power and Mines, when they asked him, "Are you going to contest for governorship of then Bauchi State?" he said, "You don't leave certainty for uncertainty." So he didn't leave his ministerial to go contest against then Governor Tatari Ali. Now, I thought Sonny he's not my friend. I know him, but he's not my friend. But I thought he made a big political blunder running for deputy to Isa Ashiru. But the point I want to make is Southern Kaduna, the PDP, to some extent, yes, they've treated them well, but in terms of projects, in terms of industries and all that, they got nothing. It's not about appointments. Yes, they produced 6-7 ministers, but what has Southern Kaduna got to show for it? What have they got to show for it? Except for Nenadi Usman, who has a radio station and some other businesses. What? Tell me. New Wire already had his industry, the stone granite industry, but all the other ones that became ministers. What did they? Isaiah already had his Gora investments and all that. So, but substantial in terms of one industry. You look at Olam. You look at the milk factory, and then you look at the Vicampro project that was killed on the altar of politics. So, again,
you're not by this saying that they should join the winning party.
No, I'm not saying that.
Yes,
no, but it's very painful because even when you did not vote for that winning party, the winning party clearly carried everybody along. I'll give you an example. They renovated across the board. When you want to be fair, you use an equitable standard. You say, every political ward, I will renovate one primary health care center. I will renovate one school. So if you have 12 schools, you get 12 schools. If you have 10, that's not the making of the governor. The INEC has delineated these constituencies. So if you have 10 wards, you get 10 schools. If you have 12, like Kaduna South, you have 12 primary health care centers renovated for you and all that. But let me go back to the point I was trying to make. So PDP gives the tickets to Isa Ashiru. Where do they want support from? Bulk support, Southern Kaduna. What is the need for them? Absolutely nothing. A deputy governor, except for El-rufai, whose deputy governors chairs meetings, and you can see that a deputy governor can actually be functional. But you will know our experiences with former deputy governors until El-rufai's time. So even in terms of the campaign allocation of resources for campaigns, Kayang, Aiki, like politicians call it, you find that the Southern Kaduna was shortchanged at every point in time by PDP. They were shortchanged. If they are spending in Kudan 50 million, they already take Southern Kaduna support for granted. They are spending 5 million. Can you see the difference? So if Dan Fulani is talking, I said, okay, finally, the scales are falling off. These two parties are not, they are not religious, associations. They are political parties, and it's all about your interests. So if El-rufai will serve your interests better, you go with him. If any other person will serve your interest better, you go with him. So I am very, very delighted with what has happened in terms of this Saturday's election. Like Dan Fulani said, they took the people for granted. They've taken Southern Kaduna for granted, that their support, they will always be there. We'll do anything, everything we want to do, they will vote for us, because we have demonized APC as a Muslim party. That myth, that narrative has been shattered. They need to construct new ones, and they don't have time. They don't have time to construct new ones. The only way forward is quality of candidates. And it's interesting, across the 3 zones, I know 2023 will not be walkover for anybody. It won't be a walkover. You have people like we know Sonny Marshall now is warming up, Seriki Noma is warming up to give Danjuma, who has done what even Isaiah Nenadi has, Aziz Haruna did not achieve. He's done 2 terms. But it's not, of course, if you look at America, Joe Biden was in Senate for 36 years. Yeah, fine. But you have to look at what has he achieved. What has he achieved? So now is day of reckoning for everybody. The singular myth, the singular narrative that PDP in the last 8 years has used has been destroyed on Saturday. They need to construct new narratives. And if you ask me, that new narrative will be, I can do better than this person. This person's candidate, this party's candidate, I am better than him. Not again. Thankfully, we will not be hearing APC is a Muslim party, PDP is a Christian party. We will be hearing, I can do better. I am better than the candidate of APC. I am better than the candidate of PDP. That narrative is the way forward for our politics, and I am very, very delighted about those outcomes.
The program is Perspectives this morning, and we're doing a look back into the elections that were held on Saturday last week. Now, results are out. There are winners, there are losers, and of course, looking at how to make it even better. And sharing thoughts with us on the elections of last Saturday, Emmanuel Adu, public affairs analyst in the studios with us. We'll come back after this break. Welcome back. It's the program Perspectives this morning, and we're looking at last Saturday's election and the outcome of it. Emma Adu, public affairs analyst in the studios with me, and we're getting some glimpse into what happened. But there were certain terms in the elections of last week, and we'll begin to look at them. One, which people complained about, were the electronic voting machines that at some polling units, they just were not working, and elections were to take place at 8 o'clock. Didn't start till after 9 in some areas, and of course, security presence again with what it came up with. Of course, again, vote buying was also said to be an issue, that openly displayed vote buying, all of that came out in this election. And it has always been the wish and aspirations of the people that our elections should be free, fair, and credible. We're also working towards a major elections, and that will be at national level. And that's looking at the 2023 elections. But of the background here, starting from this point of the grassroots, all of these is, showing. And so, again, as we project it or look into...
Did you listen to the governor yesterday on channels? He got information. I can tell you this because I relate with some members of his team. And that's why Kaduna State is not like... other states. If PDP lost, they lost because they took certain things for granted. If PDP had good candidates, they would have given APC a fight for their money.
These were issues that came up with
yes.
came up at this last election.
Hold on, yes. I'm making the point.
Yes.
If you remember 2018, PDP picked up so many seats. So this government and the APC by extension, they are not desperate to win at all costs. They are not desperate. If it's other states, I know those who have to say, they will, but of course I know they will never go to El-rufai to tell him that, Your Excellency, declare APC winner in all the wards, declare APC winner in all the 23 local governments. They will only say that outside, but they can never walk up to Malam to tell him, do this.
So I'm sharing thoughts with you. Very important, because I'm taking you on this same statement, on this way you are going.
Yeah.
I've also met with some public affairs analysts that told me, in private, that it was all strategically planned, to work the way it had worked. I mean, that's private too.
People will tell you what they want to tell you to suit certain narratives, and that's to deny that the people are informed, to deny that the people can make choices, and that, I think, we keep insulting the people. You understand? Like they will say in terms of in bribe giving and taking. I've seen Ghanaian politicians who took essential commodities towards the election, and the people rejected his gifts. They loaded back his truck with the things he bought, the rice, the milk, and all the other stuffs. So it's not enough. We should not always be quick to condemn politicians. If the politician gives you money and you are mortgaging yourself, he's not competent, he doesn't have what it takes to deliver the goods, and he's giving you money, where is that money coming from? You reject it and vote your conscience. So if the politician offers and you accept, then we have no reason talking about it. So it means we will be saddled with our reality. He goes there, I bought this seat, I have to recoup my money. So these are lessons that we are going to learn the hard way. 20 years, 24 years of democracy. By the time we are 30, 34.
We can't stop that, right?
Not that we can't stop it. But it's going to take time. These are things that are going to take time. Okay, the governor said on channels yesterday that immediately he heard about plots left, right, and center to subvert the will of the people. He quietly went to the commissioner of police. Of course, in things like this, you can be sure that you get the cooperation of the police commissioner. And he said, look, there are political parties have made, he did not specify. He just said political parties have made arrangements to compromise DPOs to subvert the will of the people. And can you do me a favor? Can we swap the DPOs? Because you need the DPOs to be able to enforce some of these bad decisions. So the commissioner obliged him, and by Saturday DPOs were swapped, and that at least changed drastically what would have been a large-scale purchase, subversion of the will of the people. So electronic voting is also part of the efforts by Kaduna State government to deepen democracy, to ensure that the will of the people prevails. So if the government has done this, and the governor, I remember 2018, on the same day Kaduna had its local government elections, Oyo State had its elections, Kano State had its elections. In Oyo State that day, APC under Ajimobi, they declared 33 seats. But I'll tell you one interesting scenario. APC won. They won the 33 local governments. They won the 35 development area councils. Everything. They won everything. But there was a federal by-election some weeks after that, and the PDP won that seat. That is a seat that's a state where APC had cleared every election, which also is the same in Rivers, Sokoto, where PDP conducted election. They won everything, Bauchi and all that. That has not happened in Kaduna. There has been a fair contest. But to think, look at America, unquote, sophisticated, developed. Look at the issues they still have, even though we know Donald Trump was defeated. There have been all manners of accusations, allegations. The machines were tampered with, even when there's no evidence. So politicians will always tell you stories.
Anima, again, I'm bringing to you private thoughts, that, which is on, why some of the things that happened. And I mentioned that for some of them bringing up this issue, they said it was strategically planned to. Now look at one of the issues that we had, postponement of these elections. From May, these elections were to take place. First time, that was said. First date was May 15th. Second date was postponed to June 5th, or postponed to August 14th, and also postponed to September 4th.
And now some postponed to 24th September.
So
hold on. You've made your point.
No, I have not. I want to land.
You've made your point.
No, I want to land. For some of them, they said that it was all, to strategically planned to make the people lose interest and force to this enfranchisement again of the people. And that's what we had. I'm just bringing our thoughts.
Okay, let me tell you what happened, because it's good at times some of this information come out. Now, it was nearing the end of the tenure of the elected chairman, and there were moves to get caretaker committees and all that, and the governor said no. Do you vacate your seat as incumbent? I was an incumbent governor contesting for re-election. I didn't vacate my seat. I contested as a sitting governor. So why would you want these chairmen, councillors to go? Because this is democracy. What is good for the goose is good for the gander. And the governor resisted every attempt because he is a Democrat. You understand? He said this chairman will be in office and conduct, and the elections will be conducted by the State Independent Electoral Commission. Now, what happened? As we speak, our schools have been closed. The security situation did not warrant the holding of the elections. Like the governors also said about the schools, we all know the pain, the anguish when these bad guys, when these bandits kidnap our children, when they kidnap our brothers, our sisters. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. Let's not pretend about it. So what do? Like the governor said yesterday, yes, we will not give in to bandits and Boko Haram, because these are the outcomes they want. They don't want people to go to school. They want SYZ and all that. But we will not want our children and teachers, or anybody for that matter, to be in the hands of these bandits. So the option, as we speak, if you go through the news now, you see Zamfara, what is happening in Zamfara. Eventually, so the federal government and Zamfara state government, they've taken very drastic situations. But before then, 3 consecutive weeks, they were kidnapping students from schools. So, like the governor said, yes, we will not bow to them. They will not prevail. They will not win. But we will also not allow them win. So they've moved students from vulnerable schools to, you notice Kaduna is congested. Rimi College, there are how many students there? Even as I speak to you, some private schools, Joy School, the students of Joy School, which is in a vulnerable place, are in Banawa here cohabiting with another school. So rather than having our students kidnapped and all that, this is it. So the security issues, they are not lie. It is not a lie.
And quickly, I've had you on that.
It's not a lie.
I have little time for this.
Yes. So people saying that the postponements were because they needed to program the outcomes. They are not being kind.
Oh, okay.
They are not being kind.
I got you on that.
Yeah.
Again, for the hard work staff, again, they were recruited, undergoing training for the, electronic machines were, they just don't have enough time to do that. And so the malfunctioning of these machines, again, could be, and that's the public affairs. Some, saying that, that these were part of why, we had problems with the electronic machines.
Tony, you, creation of God Almighty, you have cough once in a while, you have cold, you take ill, malaria, typhoid, and all that. These machines, human work of human ingenuity. If your phones malfunction, do you raise alarm about that? Are there no backup positions? There are elections that are still going to be conducted because the will of the people is supreme. There are guidelines, and in those guidelines, where you have machine that does not, an electronic voting machine that does not function, there are clear guidelines on what will be done. That is human decision. The machine is human creation. It will malfunction. That is taken. Your car, you wake up at times. You came back home yesterday and you say, I have a 7 o'clock appointment this morning, and you go to your car. You take it for granted. It will work. It will answer you when you kick it. And what happens?
If my elections were to start at 8 a.m. and if machines did not allow for that to take place until about 4 p.m., I mean, that's a serious disenfranchisement.
No. Tony, don't fall into that trap. While you are asking these questions on behalf of the people. To that extent, I answer you. Tony, I have given you an analogy.
Yes.
Me and you, as I'm speaking to you.
No, you're not speaking for me.
No, as I'm speaking to you now, I have cold. I am creation of God. But once in a while, I will go through stress. I will break down. Now, what can I do? I'll take medicines. Those machines, yes, some of them had issues. Did they envisage this happening? Yes, because these are machines. You understand? These are machines. You decide to cut away. Now that it's not ballot box, it's machine. You decide to cut it away. Was that envisaged? Yes. Did they make any alternative arrangement to say, if this XYZ happens, this is the solution, this will be our reaction? Yes, they envisage those possibilities because these are machines. They are not human beings.
All right. Just allow for 1 or 2 calls to come in. Numbers to call to be part of this conversation: 081 40,000 989, 081 40,000 989, or 070 87 800 989, 070 87 800 989. And may I just say to the callers that elections have come. We'll still have some rescheduled elections to come. Let's be civil with our comments, and I insist that we be civil with our comments and just be very objective here. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
This is Mursala calling from Abuja, Roriga, sir.
Murtala.
Yes, sir. You see, to me, I can say it is true that if our governor is ready and he did free and fair election, but the APC party, they are not ready. They did not do free and fair election. You understand? because we went to I went to my polling unit. You understand? And that machine, a single person did not vote. They are telling us that the machine is out of order. You understand? You cannot tell me I just went to the market, I purchased a new phone, can't start operating it, and it is a problem, and you are telling me that it is human error. You understand? So let's tell ourselves the truth. You understand? This machine, many places they did not work properly. You understand?
Okay.
As I'm speaking to you, I did not vote. I did not cast my vote. You understand? It's not my fault.
Yes.
Whose fault is this?
Yes.
You understand?
Okay. Mutala, you made a point there, a very good one.
Now let me tell you something I don't like. At any particular time, a voter is supposed to be within a particular area. I don't like when people generalize. You did not see.
He was there.
Hold on. He speaks about his own particular unit.
Yes.
That taken. But if only we had allowed him, maybe we would have taken the particulars. And you, as a journalist, you go to Kaduna State Independent Electoral Commission and say, this voter in Ward 2001, Igabi, did not vote because the machine, that way is painstaking. And that's what Nigerian journalists should be doing. Investigations can be painstaking. It will take time.
We're having field reports. Yeah,
yes.
We had field reports.
Wait, hold on. Look, I've also been a journalist. I can tell you, at times the most uninformed people, unfortunately, can be journalists.
Who wants to be uninformed anyway?
Yes. I'm saying this with all sense of responsibility. And because you said something again, I will say something about it. Some of the most the worst rumor mongers you can think of are big men, because some of these hangers on will come and tell them things they want to hear, and they will be quoting it to you. I know certain things some people have told me, and even without verifying, they played out, and I just laughed. So I subject everything I get to hear to checks, cross checks, and then I make up my mind. So
okay,
that's very, very critical.
All right, I'll take this caller again. Hello, good morning.
Mr. Tyler, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to your guest.
Good morning.
Your guest has spoken very well. This is Engineer Emmanuel. I think I will say congratulations to Kaduna people. They have made their choice. Thank God their choice was given to them. I want to call on, just like the first caller said, there was a machine somewhere. That machine did not even work. Even the person that went for the training could not operate that machine. I think they need to, when next we want to make an election, people that knows, that have gone to the training, to be given the mandate, be the one to operate those machines. Now, I will say congratulations to the government as well, to allow the people here to reflect, or the people giving them their mandate. I think let this be as a sign to the national, that is INEC. They should follow suit. That's why we're advocating for electronic voting in 2020. Because this time around it will not be business as usual. People have tested for 4 years, they have tested now for another 8 years. So I know people have made up their mind. It's not about parties, it is about individual who is competent, that has the masses apart.
Okay.
Those are the people that.
Thank you anyway. Thank you, Engineer Emmanuel. Quickly, let me just add on this one caller. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Tony and Larry.
Yes.
And good morning also to your guests.
Good morning, sir.
My name is Comrade Gabriel. What I want to say that first, let me congratulate His Excellency for the conduct of election in Kaduna here. Because when the Kano State government, for example, they conducted the previous local government, 44 local government and 40 councillors were all won by a single party. So in Kaduna here, we have to appreciate that now we are voting candidates, not party. That's exactly what you said. So I think His Excellency has done the best, and they are sure he has already taken some certain steps, in fact, being the first person to introduce the training nation. So thank you. But your best should allow you to explain, because I will know how embittered her best to see that during the election, in fact, we are commented and we have your reporters all over, and we were reporting live So most of the things your friends wanted to argue with you, they are truth. That's the truth, because we get the on the spot assessment from that day. So maybe from that experience, you are not taking of the matter.
Yes,
So the girl should listen properly to you and make sure that all of us are well enlightened.
Yes, thank you, Comrade Gabriel, on that. Thank you. We were on the field, and so our correspondents were reporting live from the field. Ima,
I want to align myself with what Engineer Emmanuel said. Kudos to the governor. He's done well. He's every day he convinces me more about his democratic credentials. Whether he's the deputy governor of the state, that he's able to entrust the state to and go on his annual leaves. It's not something SFA used to call deputy governor spare tires. In Kaduna, I mean, the character of the man keeps shining through every day. He leaves Hadiza to run the state, takes decisions. Same with Bantes, never known to have upturned any decision taken while he was away. Yes, maybe he would say, oh, we would have done it this way, but never overturn it. Same in the party, allows the candidates to emerge and then supports the candidates. So I think those who had doubt about who Nasir El-rufai is, I think they are beginning to see that this man is the real deal, is who he says he is. And yesterday, my friends who watched him on channels called me and said, your governor did this, and he did not, it's not a referendum on his government. It's referendum on the character of the aspirants. So now, I want to conclude by saying there's no perfect system. The efforts are there. The governor has done his bit. You don't expect him to manage SECOM, the State Electoral Commission. And again, the next 5 years, we are not praying that this same set of ad hoc staff that were recruited will be unemployed, that they will be available to be employed. Maybe moving forward, the idea will be maybe go to the civil service. Those who are 20, 25 years are in service the next 10, 20 years, maybe use them. There will be a pool, a reliable pool of people who understand these machines, who can operate them, they are educated and all that. These are things that I'm sure the State Electoral Independent Commission itself will be looking at. But ad hoc work helps create temporary job 1-2 months for our teeming youths that are unemployed. So I say kudos to Kaduna State. It's a new day. We continue to look forward with hope. We continue to look forward with fortitude that tomorrow will be better. And we say congratulations to the governor, who is not afraid to lose his polling unit.
On that cheering note, we have come to the conclusion on the program Perspectives this morning. I'd like to thank our guest, Imadu, for coming on the program. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Did you vote?
That's a question coming to me again from my Imadu, never can, Well, that's Perspectives for today. And Job Daniels, thank you for connecting over with the people. Wisdom, thank you for putting us in the pictures. And to our intern in the studios, thank you for being part of it this morning. We'll come back with Perspectives tomorrow. Have a good day.